the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the young man who has become a legend of his own time. You want answers? I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth. What's up, everybody? Yours truly, Ron Kelly. The Ron Kelly Talk Radio program on a Thursday is December 19th already, man. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Yeah, it's beginning to feel a little bit like it. And I was talking to somebody earlier today. Welcome, everybody. Thanks so much for joining me, The Ron Kelly Show. Live right now on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. And, of course, blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, I was talking to somebody earlier today. Boy, that stuck by me. I was talking to somebody earlier today about Christmas. And, it does feel Christmassy, but in a way it doesn't feel Christmassy because, once the kids grow up now, you're not trimming the tree as much, the decorations, going out at the mall, fighting with people, and all kinds of stuff. And I think that's what makes it feel kind of Christmassy. So now, we don't have to do that anymore. You remember when we were the Black Friday and the people would be outside waiting for the stores to open at 4 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, people would be waiting for the stores to open, and the hook was that some of the stores only had like 10 items. That they said they had a 9,000-foot television for $30, but they'd only have one, so you get there, so you got 3,000 people fighting for one item. And it was so crazy. And, and slowly but surely it just went away. And now now it's Black Monday instead of Black Friday. The internet, that Monday after Thanksgiving, everybody goes on the internet and buys their stuff. So they're like, and that used to be fun. I thought it was fun to get up in the middle of the night and go shop with cold still in your eye and go shopping. Yeah, I thought it was fun. But now since Amazon and some of these other companies have taken over, there's no more fun, no more going out and bashing heads with and fighting with somebody literally and figuratively over one item. And they suckered us into coming to the store. They only had one item. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Yeah, just a little nostalgia there back in the day. Yes, we're going to talk tonight. We're going to talk about the DEI programs. Walmart, the biggest employer in America, in the world, I believe. Walmart has decided they don't want to do DEI anymore. In case you don't know, DEI is diversity, inclusion, and something else. Oh boy. And so we're going to talk about that tonight. And okay, and I'm looking at these text messages coming through right now. But anyway, everybody, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's December 19th. It's 2024. We're just a couple of days now away from a week or so away from 2025, and I swear to you, one day I'm going to go to the Times Square and celebrate. I'm going to put my diaper on or whatever. Because once you get in there, you can't get out, and then you got to stay there all day. It's too bad that New Year's Eve wasn't in the summertime, because then you can hang out all night, but because it's the dead of winter and it's going to be freezing out there, and then once you get in, you can't get out. Now, 9/11 changed everything. 9/11 changed the world as we know it. 24 years ago, it changed everything. So now it's all security, drones, this, that, helicopters, all kinds of stuff going on over there. So it's going to be relatively safe. I can assure you of that. Anyway, it's about it's about 5.5 minutes past the hour. It's the Ron Kelly show. So yeah, we got a lot to talk about, and also, we're going to talk about the NAACP, Urban League National Action Network. I mean, what, God, you forgive me, but what, do we really need? What have they done? What have these what have these organizations done? What kind of legislation was a result of the NAACP? And to show you how out of date they are, they still say colored people. NAACP. Anyway, shout out to my friend Tracy, Plainfield, New Jersey. Her son has just been sworn in as a Plainfield firefighter. So, man, I tell you, shout out to Tracy, her son, Richard Fraser, for becoming a Plainfield firefighter. And I'll tell you that. Now, you talk about the police are courageous. You really got to be courageous to be a firefighter, to run into a burning building that you may not come out of. So shout out to Richard, and thank you, Richard, for your service. Okay, it's about 7 minutes past the hour. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Back in the day, I think it was 1995, 1996, there was a movie called Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, Judge Dredd. And Sylvester Stallone was a judge. They called him Judge Dredd for some reason. I guess it was he. And in this futuristic sci-fi thriller, I guess you can call it, the police were judges. The police were judges. The movie Judge Dredd, every time it comes on, I watch it. I'm, really into Stallone and him beating up people. Anyway, so in the movie Judge Dredd, Sylvester Stallone was a police officer, but he was also a judge. So in the future, the movie depicted the future, maybe 30, 40 years from now. And crime has gotten so bad. Crime in America has gotten so bad that the police are judges too. So instead of the process where we arrest people, put them in jail, lock them up and go into court and all that stuff, in the movie Judge Dredd, the police, once they caught you doing something, because the police was a judge too, so the police would sentence you right then and there. It would sentence you right there, and you would go to prison from where you committed the crime. Because that's how bad crime had gotten in the future. I mean, at least that's what they're depicting. The crime got so bad in the future that police were judges, and when the police caught you doing something, they would sentence you right then and there. No judge, no jury, no lawyer, no nothing. And you look at the way crime is today, and some of you might say, "Oh, Ron, that's impossible. We're never going to have that." No, not in your lifetime, but it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible that we would have a situation like that, because crime seems to be so out of control right now. People running up black people running up in the stores, smash and grab, smash the glass, take the stuff, and nobody's really doing anything about it. Because of the way the system is, nobody's really doing anything about it. And that's why Kamala Harris lost, because she didn't talk about crime. She didn't talk about the border. She didn't talk about people's pocketbooks. She didn't talk about lowering prices. Or she didn't say that, or explain why she couldn't lower prices. It's already Trump is backpedaled from what he said. Trump has already backpedaled from what he said about lowering prices. Now he's saying that it's not going to be easy. Yeah, it's impossible. You can't control what people, give me a break. Give me a break. Because like I said last week, there's nothing wrong with the economy. There was nothing wrong with the economy. 10 minutes past the hour. So that's why Kamala Harris lost. So crime seems to be just, crime seems to be just going out of control. It's out of control. And, like I said, these smash and grabs, they go into the mall, or they go, I've seen, how many videos have you seen of people, black people, going to the Apple store and snatching all the phones off the displays? I don't even know if those phones even work, or operative. But the guy walks into the store with the mask on and stuff, and he's snatching the phones off the displays, like going down the aisle, just snatching the phones off the displays. And the people are standing around and they're not doing nothing to try to stop the guy, And so the crime is like really getting out of control here, and maybe we are, probably not in our lifetimes, but in the movie Judge Dredd, they suspended the Constitution. They didn't even mention the Constitution. And the people there were, like I said, the cops were judges. So when you got caught doing something, the cop would turn into a judge, and he would sentence you for whatever it is that you did, and they would take you from right there where you committed the crime to prison. Straight there. No courts, no plea bargains, no lawyers, no jails. I mean, not where you wait for your, no. They didn't do none of that. It was straight to jail, or prison rather. Judge Dredd. So once again, shout out to Richard Fraser. There's Tracy. I don't remember her last name. They didn't tell me. But shout out to her. Shout out to my friends at American Port for Transportation. We'll talk to you a little bit more, more about them, as we move along here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio show. So we're going to talk about NAACP, Urban League, and these are some things we have to face. These are some things that we really have to face about our people. And what has the Urban League done? You don't even hear from them. What has NAACP done? I mean, okay, I get it. Feed the fish, feed a man a fish, but teach the man how to fish. And that's what we're not doing. We're feeding a man with a fish, but we're not. We're feeding our people with fish, soup kitchens, and and so many other things, but we're not teaching our people how to sustain themselves. So we're still in that, that abyss where we're not teaching each other, how to survive in America. We're not doing that. The NAACP is not doing that. The Urban League, National Action Network, all of these organizations. And I mean, what are they doing besides collecting donations? And, I have major respect for Reverend Al Sharpton, and what he has tried to do. But we're still in that mode where we're giving out turkeys and, stuff like that. I mean, teach somebody how to buy their own turkey, And so we're still giving out stuff and we're giving away stuff. But we have to teach our people how to get the stuff themselves. We have to teach our people how to fend for themselves. The turkey giveaway and all of this type of stuff. I mean, yeah, that's nice, but that turkey is only going to last one meal or two or three, I guess, if you make turkey salad or whatever. But what are we doing? We need to teach our people to stand up on their own two feet. So we're talking about that as well. I see y'all peeping in. I see y'all coming and going. And, and I see, because I can't see everything that people do on my radio show, but I see people coming and going. I guess they're not interested in what R. Kelly is talking about tonight, so they dip in, dip out. But it's okay. It's radio. Anyway, everybody, it's 15 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock is Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Broncos and Chargers later on, and we'll definitely get to that a little bit later on in the program. So we got a lot to talk about tonight. It's, we got a lot to get to. Uh, diversity, inclusion. We're going to talk about that. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. Diversity, equality, and it's actually confusion right now. But anyway, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a whole lot more in just a few minutes when we come back. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com and RonKellyShow.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
Everybody, we are back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and the Ron Kelly Radio Show is sponsored in part by Amica and Porterville Transportation. Since 1984, 40 years, Amica and Porterville Transportation has provided safe, secure transportation to and from your destination, field trips, family reunions, casino trips, school districts, you name it. Amica and Porterville can make it happen for you. So give them a call, 908-753-6423. That's 908-753-6423. Or you can holler at them. It's amica.porterfield@verizon.net. If you want to email them, it's amica.porterfield@verizon.net or 908-753-6423, 908-753-6423. Amica and Porterfield Transportation is a proud sponsor of these here Ron Kelly shows, and the views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and R. Kelly Media Enterprises LLC, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team or anybody that has anything to do with the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. Okay, and right now you're watching the Ron Kelly Show. It's on Facebook, YouTube, and not Twitter. It's Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Twitter is no more Twitter. We got to rearrange that ticker. Okay, everybody, it's 19 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. This here is the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. So, I don't know if we can link it to Trump, but Walmart, one of the biggest companies in America, has decided they don't want to be involved in the diversity. They don't want to be involved anymore in the diversity, equality, and inclusion programs that they had going on earlier. And what those were, they were programs that focused on minority hiring, or not just minority hiring, but minority moving up the ranks. Minorities moving up the ranks at Walmart. And so just when Trump got elected, the Walmart people decided they abandoned their diversity, equality, and inclusion programs. Now, there's some people in America who think that we don't need this stuff. And me personally, I wouldn't want to be given a position just because I'm black. I wouldn't want that either. I would want the position based on my abilities, not just because I'm black. And so now that the diversity, equality, inclusion programs are being dropped by a lot of these big companies, what happens to the minorities, the folks who go behind the eight ball as far as promotions and being given positions of authority? What happens with them? Is the question. Uh, and some of these companies, and it seems like they started it just when Trump was reelected. That's when this whole stuff started, when Trump got reelected. So I don't know. Walmart announced that they are no longer going to. They announced that they are no longer going to. They they pulled back. They had pulled back um, on DEI. Walmart, Nissan, many of these big companies are pulling back. Walmart. Um, the George Floyd effect is gone. And then the incoming president Lowe's, Okay, we're back. I'm not sure what happened. I think the internet went out for a second. Anyway, we're back. It's 25 minutes past the hour. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com, also Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Go onto the YouTube channel, The Ron Kelly Show on YouTube, and click the like, subscribe, whatever. Do your due diligence going over to help brother out. Also, you can see me on TikTok, and the clock is ticking on TikTok. We don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. The Supreme Court has decided they're going to take up that case. And since Trump likes TikTok, you better believe TikTok is probably not going anywhere because Trump likes TikTok. Trump also said that he was thinking about pardoning New York City Mayor Eric Adams when he gets convicted. When he gets convicted of what everybody is you're innocent until proven guilty, but I don't know about this one. I like Mayor Adams. I don't live in New York, but I can appreciate his historic election and how he came up. He was a captain in New York City Police Department, and then he became one of his biggest achievements. He became Brooklyn Borough President. He was Brooklyn Borough President for a number of years, and then he ascended to the Gracie Mansion as the mayor of the city of New York. And being the mayor of the city of New York is like being the president of a country. Being mayor of the city of New York is a big job. You got 30,000 cops. There's more cops in New York City than there is in some states combined. There's probably more cops in New York City than there is in all of New Jersey, all of Connecticut. It's a big job. Billions and billions, $50 billion, $100 billion budget. So many departments, so much stuff. Being the mayor of New York is like being a president of a country, because New York is its own country. Millions of people. It's a big deal. So shout out to Eric Adams. I hope you make it through, Mayor Adams. I did meet him. I met him at one time. He's very nice, very approachable guy. So hopefully he'll weather that storm and come out of the other side. Anyway, it's 28 minutes past the hour. So yeah, I was talking about some of the companies that decided that they didn't want to, Nissan, Walmart, Toyota. A lot of these companies are pulling back. Apple, they're pulling back. Ford, because the contention is that DEI is the contention is that DEI is an admission of racism. So Ford, Harley Davidson, John Deere, some of the universities are pulling back, and the contention is that diversity, equality, and inclusion. The contention is that you're admitting that there is racism, and a lot of people don't want to know. They don't want to hear that. Many of the folks around the country deny that there's racism, but it's pretty clear that it is. But Walmart, Ford, Harley Davidson, all of these companies have decided that they don't want to participate in these programs, because the programs with these programs, it's an admission of guilt, basically, and it's an admission of racism. And there are many people in this country, white folks in particular, who say, and some disillusioned black folks think that there is no racism in this country, but there is. There is racism in America. There is. I mean, I think there's a way for us to not necessarily get around it, but there's a way for us to to combat it effectively, I mean, there is a way, But the companies are cutting these programs because it's an admission of guilt, basically. That, oh, well, there's racism. And many people in this country want to deny that there's racism, because racism in slavery was an ugly scar on the United States of America. Out of one side of their mouth, they were talking about freedom and liberty and justice for all. And on the other side of their mouth, they had their foot on the neck of slaves here in the United States of America. So slavery is an ugly, ugly scar on the history of the United States of America. And many people, just because it happened hundreds of years ago, tend to think like, oh, well, that happened a long time ago. It wasn't me. No, it wasn't you. It was your ancestors. Somebody in your bloodline who was alive in the 1700s was either they were abolitionists or they were a slave owner. Either they were abolitionists or they were a slave owner. So the contention in America is let's just forget about slavery. Let's just, wasn't me. That was hundreds of years ago. It wasn't me. Let's just forget about slavery. And that's contention right now. That's why a lot of these companies are dropping their diversity, equality, and inclusion program, because it's an admission of guilt. And you can't wipe that away. White folks, you can't wipe slavery away. You owned people. You accept that. White folks, you owned people. You owned people. You treated them like cattle. You owned black people. You can't get around that. You know what I'm saying? You can't get around that. You owned people. And you took the wives, you bedded the wives of the couples, the slave couples. You took the wife and you bedded the wife. You took a man's wife and had your way with somebody else's wife and then tossed her back outside once you got finished with her. This is what you did. You cut off the foot of the toes, half the foot of the person who tried to get away. That's what you white folks did. You cut off the foot of the person. You cut off, because you didn't want to cut off the whole foot, because you want the person to still be able to have some kind of usefulness. So you cut off half the foot of the slaves who tried to escape. If you caught them, you owned people, and you can't get around that. You can try to bury slavery all you want, but you can't get around that. There were slaves. You did own people. And people worked for you, and you did not compensate those people who worked for you. You did not compensate them. 34 minutes past, or 26 minutes before the hour. And so, so it's already starting. Black folks, you're going to have a hard time. Minorities, those of you who voted for Trump, you just were just plain out and out stupid for voting for Trump. You fell for the okie doke. You fell for the banana in the tailpipe, because Trump is already saying that he can't lower prices. He's already backpedaling from that, and he didn't even, he hasn't even been inaugurated yet. But he's letting you know that you fell for the 3-card Monty. You fell for it. You voted for Trump thinking you were going to get something, and you're going to get absolutely nothing. Because Trump is behind the disbandment of diversity, equality, and inclusion programs. It's Trump. He's behind that. They're already kissing the ring and bending over in front of him. They put together a bipartisan bill to keep the government going, so they can avoid a government shutdown. Trump says, I don't like it. Oh, boom, it's dead. And he's not even the president yet. Trump is the Jim Jones of 2024. He's the Jim Jones of the 2000s. And y'all, you're going to be so sorry. You're going to be so, like I said last week, I hope you have room for your grandmother, because when her Social Security check gets cut and she can't afford the senior building no more, you voted for Trump, okay, you take her in. And I just couldn't believe how many Trump came within, he was only 5% difference between Trump and Harris in New Jersey. 5%. That's why I'm telling you that there's going to be a Republican governor in New Jersey next time. Jack Ciattarelli is going to be the governor. Mark my words, remember that. December 19th, 2024, I called it. In the next election next year, Jack Ciattarelli is going to be the governor of New Jersey. So right before your eyes, Trump started this. Trump wants DEI to be eliminated. Diversity, equality, and inclusion. He wants that to be eliminated. And a lot of these companies are falling right in line because they don't want to acknowledge that there was racism. They don't want to acknowledge there's racism. They don't want to acknowledge that. That's why John Deere and Nissan and Walmart and some of the biggest companies in America are dropping their diversity, equality, and inclusion programs. Trump is doing that. Y'all are just stupid. I'm telling you. You get mad at me all you want. Go on my comments page. You want to say something to me, but you were just dumb. You fell for the okie doke. You fell for the banana in the tailpipe. 3-card money. Remember they used to have 3-card money downtown. Well, they can't call it Jewtown now. That's a crime. You can't say Jewtown. You can't call Jewtown Jewtown. I remember we used to go down there when I was a teenager. We used to go down there and buy clothes and stuff. And you were always able to negotiate your price. But you can't say Jewtown. I mean, I can say it on my radio show, but you can't say Jewtown anymore. Down by the mouth of the Williamsburg Bridge back in the day. And they said 3-card money out there. I fell for it one time. It suckered me. I fell for it one time, but I stopped after I lost the first bet. I was done because I was giving up my school money for my clothes. But yeah, the 3-card money. Those of you who voted for Trump, black folks, Hispanics, because I get it that the Democrats, it's 22 minutes before the hour. I get it that the Democrats have kind of, they haven't moved forward with anything. I get it. I get it that the Democrats seem old in their ideas and their thought process, and the Democrats haven't changed much over the years. And I get that. I agree. I wasn't going to vote for Trump, but I agree that Democrats have fallen off. The Democrats are not, did take our vote for granted. I believe that. I believe that the Democrats took the black vote for granted. And they were just giving us stuff. Welfare, WIC, rent subsidies, Section 8, all this stuff. The Democrats did that. They were just giving us stuff. Give them something. They were buying our vote with Section 8, with food stamps. Who the hell wants to be on food stamps? That's demoralizing to be on food stamps. And that's what the Democrats did. They haven't moved forward. Democrats are old and creaky. They're not thinking forward like, And a lot of you African Americans and Latinos who voted for Trump, you really didn't want to vote for Trump. You were voting against Biden or Kamala Harris. Not voting for Trump, but voting against Kamala Harris. And yeah, she blew it big time. She didn't talk about bail reform. She didn't talk about the border. She didn't talk about crime. Those are the things she should have been talking about. How many times have you looked on your TikTok or whatever and saw some person, black person, 99% of the time it was a black person, smashing and grabbing a jewelry store, the Gucci store, only the high-end things. You know, how many people, how many times, shout out to Sheila Harrison, excellent points. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. 40 minutes, 40 hours. Let me take a quick break, everybody. It's 20 minutes to 40 hours. We'll take a break and we'll come right back with more of this program. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show, and it's on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blog Talk Radio. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
See my name all over those buildings? You see my name all over those buildings? That's going to be true one day. Now, you don't have to believe it. You don't have to believe it. But I believe it. My name's going to be on the side of somebody's building that in Times Square one day, very, very soon. Through the grace of God. Welcome, everybody. It's 17 to 16 minutes before the hour. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. On a Thursday, it's December 19th. It's beginning to feel a lot like Christmas. And what happened to all the broke people? You know, we talked a little bit earlier about diversity, equality, and inclusion, and how all the companies are dropping it. And Trump, that's Trump. That's Trump. Because they want to whitewash the history of the United States of America. They want to whitewash it. You know how you whitewash a fence? It looks nice now. They want to whitewash history. They want to whitewash history and make it seem like there was never slavery. You know, where and it's funny thing with the Democrats, who the black folks and the Hispanics embrace or used to embrace anyway, the Democrats were the slave owners. The Democrats wanted to keep slavery going. It was the Democrats. The Democrats fought and died to keep slavery. It was the Republicans that were the abolitionists. The Republicans wanted to stop slavery. The Democrats said, no, we want to keep our slaves. That's why they had the Civil War. That's why they fought the Civil War. And Democrats fought and died for the right to own people. Democrats. So that might have been one way that they suckered you into. That might be one way that they tried to sucker you and to sucker you into voting for the Republicans. But you made a big mistake. You made a huge mistake. And believe me, I hope that Trump is successful. I mean, not at depressing black folks, like I'm sure he's going to try to do, but I hope he's, as far as like the things he said that he's going to do for the people, I hope he's able to do it. Now, I highly doubt it because he's already backpedaling from what he said about food prices. Already backpedaling. It's going to be hard. No, on the type of campaign trail, you said you're going to do it and you're going to do it right away. You're going to do it quickly. That's been your catchphrase, quickly. You're going to stop the war between Ukraine and Russia quickly. Oh, boy. Y'all just 13 minutes before the hour. You're just, yeah. So what has the NAACP done lately? What has the Urban League done lately? National Action Network. What have these organizations done for black folks? I'll tell you, nothing. The NAACP still says colored. White people don't even say colored anymore. But the NAACP, National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And you know what? NAACP, colored people haven't been advancing lately. The Urban League, National Action Network. I mean, I have major respect for Reverend Al Sharpton, but what are they doing? What major piece of legislation has been pushed across the table by the NAACP, the Urban League, or the National Action Network? I can tell you, because I pay attention to this stuff. None. It's 13 minutes before the end of the show, I should say. Yeah. What have they done? Nothing. You know, I can appreciate what the NAACP did back in the day when we really need. But now, I mean, you know, I haven't seen NAACP do anything. The shootings, the police shootings, you know, they'll make a statement, but where are they? You know, I mean, National Action Network, Reverend Al Sharpton, again, I respect Reverend Al. I respect Reverend Al Sharpton immensely, but they need a new strategy. The NAACP needs a new strategy. The Urban League, the National Action Network, and the Nation of Islam need a new strategy. But just talking about the white man ain't cutting it no more. Talking about the white man is not cutting it. It's time for a change. It's time for a new strategy. Just like policing. Police have been patrolling for hundreds of years, and crime has not decreased. The police have been patrolling. That's been their thing. Put them in a patrol car and let them drive around. It hasn't worked. They need a new strategy. I know they use drones and stuff like that. Each one of those cars should have a drone flying over it to look around. Because the police car passes by, somebody can be being robbed, the police car will drive right past. So the NAACP, Urban League, National Action Network, you need a new strategy to fight back against Trump. This 2025 thing is for real. Project 2025 is for real. Look who he's appointing to his cabinet. All psychopaths. He's appointing people who he's going to have influence over. And that's not how it's supposed to go. FBI director, you pick a law enforcement, someone who has experience law enforcement, not Kash Patel, this crackpot. You know, the director of national intelligence. You know what that encompasses? It's, you know, Department of Justice. You know, that department has its fingers in everything. FBI, CIA, NSA, all these organizations that we depend on to keep this country safe. So we can find out if somebody's plotting against us. We can find out if somebody's getting ready to shoot a missile at us. These are the organizations that tell us about this stuff. Do you want Tulsi Gabbard She can't even keep a secret. She can't keep a secret for say if her life depended on it. Now they want to make her director of national intelligence. I mean, it's just a clown show of people that Trump is supposed. And see, this is what you get. This is what you get when you vote and you're not informed. You don't know what the hell you're doing. This is what you get. This is what you get. So you got Trump appointing everybody except his mother, and she's dead, so we can't appoint her. It's ridiculous. And the DEI, Trump is putting a stop to DEI. And so many other people. He wants to get rid of the debt ceiling so America can owe. So there's no limit to what America can owe. And already America owes trillions of dollars. It's the worst idea ever to get rid of the debt ceiling. Because you get rid of the debt ceiling, you can borrow until we have another depression. Is that what you voted for? Because this is what you're going to get. Get rid of the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling is, I mean, that's a real thing. We all have a debt ceiling. There's only so much I'm going to owe anybody. And Trump wants to get rid of the debt ceiling. The truth be told, he wants to get rid of term limits. He wants to be the president again. In 2028, he'll be 82 years old. This is what you voted for. This is what you voted for. You voted for this psycho and his band of other psychos that are going to take over this country. Liz Cheney's probably going to get arrested. Adam Kinzinger. Trump may try to arrest him. All the people who, the people who voted against him in Congress who are still there, the people in the Senate, the hundreds of people who signed that letter, for Kamala Harris saying that they thought Trump was a nincompoop. And he is. That's what y'all voted for. Getting back to the NAACP, the NAACP needs to get busy because they're not doing nothing. Well, I don't even hear about the NAACP anymore. They don't show up in Washington on the Senate floor or the floor of the House. They're not pushing through any legislation. They're not, as far as I know. I mean, you know better than me. If you're a member of NAACP, hey, I'll bring you on the show and we can talk about it. But I don't see the NAACP doing anything. Urban League, National Action Network. Something happens to a black person, that's who they run to. I mean, come on, give me a break. It's 7 minutes before the hour. Well, actually, it's 3 minutes before the hour, but 7 minutes before the end of this program. It's it's 6 minutes before the end of the program. So it's time. We got to get it going. Trump is going to set us back 100 years. The NAACP, the Urban League, National Action Network, I don't know how much help they're going to be able to because you haven't even seen or heard from them. So I don't know how much help they're going to be. They need a new strategy. We need a new strategy. Black folks need a new strategy. We can't keep going with the same, talking about the white man on radio, talking about it. No, we need a new strategy. We need something that's going to work. That's what we need, a new strategy. Because because even when we protest, just barely anybody there. On the African American Day Parade, barely anybody there. There's more cops and sheriffs in the parade than there are black folks. Meaningless. I remember one year I went to Patterson. I'm speaking in New Jersey for the folks who are listening to the Ron Kelly Show, listening or watching the Ron Kelly Show from other parts of the country. I know you do, and I thank you. 52% women, 48% men watch, listen to either on tape or live, the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Appreciate you. Yeah. So need a new strategy. We can't keep going on like this. And the world is changing, and we're not. Everything around us, black folks, is changing, and we're not. Just enough is enough. We need a new strategy. Because Trump and his people, it's going to be a problem. Because Trump don't give a damn about minorities. He suckered you into thinking that he did, but he doesn't. He thought he was laughing that night. Look at these stupid ass niggas and spics. That's probably what he was calling us. Look at them. They're so stupid. They voted for me. I'm the biggest white supremacist the world has ever known. And these Negroes and Hispanics voted for me. How stupid can they be? Well, apparently, very stupid. You get mad at me, it's all good. Somebody who is Beefy Dyer, I'm not sure who that is. Hey, I'm good, brother. I'm well. Appreciate you. Ronald McCready, shout out to Ronald McCready, my brother from another mother. Well, anyway. Off camera, Ronald McCready off camera. But yeah. He's on. Yeah, it was stupid. It was the biggest, dumbest, most foolish thing ever to re-elect Trump. Because you're going to be in trouble now. You voted for your own demise. You voted for your own problems. You voted for Trump. It's just unbelievable that, I just couldn't believe it. He came within 5 points of winning New Jersey. New Jersey's a Democratic state forever. And he gained everywhere. And it was mostly because of black folks, disillusioned black folks who were mad with the Democrats and voted for the Republicans, not based on their knowledge, not based on facts. They voted because it was the only other choice. So black folks voted for Trump because they were angry with Democrats. And I agree that Democrats have dropped the ball. They haven't done nothing in years. And they took the black vote for granted. And I understand, I don't understand why they voted for Trump, but I do understand that that they didn't want to vote for the Democrat. So it was a protest vote. I understand that, but look what you did. I mean, look what you did. So, I mean, I get it. I get it. But come on. If you're watching on LinkedIn, you can't send me any message. But maybe you can. Somebody from LinkedIn send me a message. Yeah. Okay, it's about 30 seconds left to the program. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Shout out to Beefy Diary. I'm not sure who that was. I'll find out. Sheila Harrison, Ronald McCready. Shout out to you, my brother, my star listener who's always here on point every week. Unless he's got something really, really important to do, then he may not watch or listen. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, it's 50 seconds, 40 hours. So I'd like to say thank you so much for joining me and keep the fires burning. And remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that we may not have it all together, ladies and gentlemen, but together we can certainly have it all. Thank you so much. I think I'm done.